Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Camilla Faustina Andry from St. Peter Junior High School. Thank you for the opportunity that's given to me. And in this opportunity, I would like to tell you a story that's known as Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, there was a very poor woodcutter that lived in a tiny cottage with his two children, Hansel and Gretel. His second wife often ill-treated the children and was forever nagging the woodcutter. "There's not enough food in the house. There are too many mouths to feed. Let's get rid of those two brats," she declared, and she kept on trying to persuade her husband to abandon his children. "Take the mouse from home. So far that they can never find their way back. Maybe someone will give them a home," she said. The downcast woodcutter did not know what to do. Hansel, who, one evening, had overheard his parents' conversation, comforted Gretel. "Don't worry, even if they do leave us in the forest, I'll take you. I promise." Then, slipping out of the house, he filled his pockets with little white pebbles, then went back to bed. All night long, the woodcutter's wife harped on and her husband, till at dawn he led Hansel and Gretel into the forest. But as they went into the depths of trees, Hansel dropped little white pebbles here and there on the mossy green ground. Then they found out they were truly lost. The woodcutter had plucked up enough courage, had mumbled some excuse, and was gone. Night fell, but the woodcutter did not return. Gretel began to sob bitterly. Hansel too felt scared, but he tried to hide his feelings to comfort Gretel. Luckily, the moon was full that night, and Hansel waited till a cold light filtered through the trees. "Now hold my hand. I'll take you home safely." And the little white pebbles gleamed in the moonlight, and the children found their way home. They crept through a half-open window, with awakening their parents, cold, tired, but thankful to be home again. They slipped into bed. The next day, when their stepmother found out they were back, she went into a rage, seizing her anger in front of her children and locking their bedroom door, reproaching her husband for failing to carry out her orders. The woodcutter protested, but in shame and fear of disobeying his cruel wife. Meanwhile, the two children were locked in their bedroom door with nothing for supper but a sip of water and some hard bread. All night long, husband and wife quarreled, and when dawn broke, the woodcutter led Hansel and Gretel into the forest again. However, Hansel had not eaten his bread, and as they went into the forest, Hansel dropped little crumbs as the trail. But the little boy had forgotten about the hungry birds that lived in the forest. When they saw him, they flew along behind him and in no time at all had eaten all of the crumbs. Again, with a lame excuse, the woodcutter left the two children by themselves. Off the trail, like coastline, Hansel whispered to Gretel consolingly. But when night fell, they saw to their horror that all the crumbs are gone. "I'm scared," wept Gretel bitterly. "I'm cold and hungry. I want to go home." "Don't worry, I'm here to look after you," said Hansel, but his tools shivered when he glimpsed around the evil eyes around them in the darkness. The two children cuddled themselves for warmth at the foot of a large tree. The next day, they started to wander around the forest, seeking for paths, but all hope soon faded. They were well and truly lost, until they suddenly came upon a strange cottage in the middle of a glade. "This is chocolate," gasped Hansel as he was putting another piece of plaster in her mouth. "This is icing!" exclaimed Gretel as she was putting another piece of wall in her mouth. Starving but delighted, the two children began to eat pieces of candy from the wall. "Isn't this delicious?" said Gretel. She had never tasted anything so nice. And they were just about to try a piece of a biscuit dough when it quietly swung open. "Well, well," said an old woman, peering up with a cracked lip. "Aren't you children the sweet tooth? Come in, you have nothing to fear," went on the old woman. Unluckily for Hansel and Gretel, the sugar candy cottage belonged to an old witch, and its trap for catching unwary victims. The two children had come to a really nasty place. "You're nothing but skin and bones," said the witch, locking Hansel into a cage. "I shall fatten you up and eat you, and you can do the housework, and I'll make a meal of you too," said the witch to Gretel grimly. As luck would have it, the witch had very bad eyesight, and when Gretel smeared butter on the glasses, she could see even less. "Let me feel her finger," said the witch to Hansel every single day to check if he was getting any fatter. Now, Gretel had brought her brother a chicken bone, and when the witch asked to feel Hansel's finger, he held out the bone. "You're still much too thin. When will you become plump?" complained the witch. One day, the witch grew tired of waiting. "Light the oven. We're going to have a tasty roasted boy tonight," said the witch. A little later, hungry and impatient, she went on. "Run and see if the oven is hot enough." Gretel came back, whimpering. "I can't tell if it is hot enough or not." The witch screamed at the little girl angrily. "Useless child! Alright, I'll see for myself." But as the witch bent down to peer inside the oven to check the heat, Gretel gave her a tremendous push and locked the oven door shut. Then she freed her brother, and they made quite sure that the oven door was tightly shut behind the witch. Indeed, just to be on the safe side, they fastened it firmly with a large padlock. Then they stayed there for several days to eat supper of the sugar candy cottage, until, amongst the witch's belongings, they found a huge chocolate egg. Inside, a basket of gold coins. "The witch is no burden to cinder, so we'll take this treasure with us," said Hansel. Then they filled the basket with more food, then went off to the forest. This time, luck was with them, and on the second day, they saw their father come out of the house, weeping. "Your stepmother is dead. Come with me now, my dear children," said the father. "Promise you'll never desert us again," said Gretel, putting her arms around her father's neck. "Look, father, we're rich now. You'll never have to chocolate again," said Hansel. And they all lived happily ever after. That's all I would like to tell you about the story. Thank you all for your attention and have a nice day, everybody.